Was Islam in the Americas before Columbus? I believe on the basis of sound historical evidence that it was. If it was, one of the things that we would expect is that it was in harmony with Native Americans. Because again, this is its pattern, and especially if the Mandingos of West Africa are one of the main sources. They crossed the Atlantic in 1312 with 2,400 boats, and we had warriors, probably for gold. Gold was probably the main incentive bringing Muslims to the New World. The Muslims, as you've heard before, of Java in 1500 already possess an atlas of the world that has the coast of Brazil exact. And as Sebelum, the great Muslim intellectual historian, cartographer, and historian of science, has shown that a map like that cannot be put together by one or two trips. It takes generations of trips. So again, if the Muslims were here, then they would have probably come into the Native American tribes without dislodging Native American culture. And there are Cherokee Muslims, I know some, who say that this was the reality in the Cherokees. One brother that I know, his grandmother was from the Wolf tribe of the Cherokees, which is the shaman tribes. They're the ones with the spiritual secrets. And he said that his grandmother told him, and I trust him to be speaking the truth, that Islam was in the Cherokees, but they wouldn't tell white people. And whenever white people asked about the religion, they give them the old Cherokee religion, because the Native Americans have a rich tradition in this land and in the United States. And, again, if you begin to bring things from Native America into your culture, which you can do easily, because like if you look at the way that Sequoyah, the great Cherokee chieftain, dressed, he dressed like I'm dressed right now. He wore turbans like this. Always what's behind that. And we can talk about that later. And you look at the rugs, you look at the dress of Sequoyah. If I were to come into this room dressed like Sequoyah, the great Cherokee chieftain, you would think I was a Muslim. Look at his leggings, look at the Cherokee women. And they covered like, look at the Apaches. And the Spanish believed the Apaches were doing jihad in the 18th century. The Spanish discovered mosques everywhere they went in America. When Cortez goes into Mexico City, as many of you heard, he said, I found muchas mezquitas, y teocallis, y muchas casas grandes. I found many mosques and many pagan temples and many big houses, beautiful houses. Pizarro, these other, the same thing. What is that legacy? You dig into it. We can bring it out. If you had Native American rugs here, you would think they were from Afghanistan. And the Muslims did come here long before the Europeans, other Europeans. They were Europeans, Andalusians and Africans. And we have clear evidence of that. And again, the Spanish are finding Muslims everywhere. They're reporting that. You can read it in the historical text. It's just historians don't believe it's true. They say this is Don Quixote, he's charging windmills, he thinks they're giants. It's not true. And the Duchess of Medina Sidonia is one of the greatest women. She has the whole archives of the Armada. She wrote a great book about Muslims in America, before that, based on the Spanish Armada archives. She said Cortez, the conqueror, cannot tell the difference between a mosque and a pagan temple. She said, who would believe that?